Good morning folks, and welcome back, but not to the track. This is a slightly different slot car video. Now if you've been watching the videos that I uploaded recently, you'll see that I went out and bought on a spares or repair basis a Scalextric Lamborghini Gallardo. When it arrived it was broken and I took it to my friend Mr. G, who kindly fixed the bodywork and fix the rear axle enough for me to be able to get that car running on my track. We then did a 10-lap speed test on it and managed to get over 155 miles per hour scale speed out of the car. But what I want to do now though is to see just how much performance I can squeeze out of this Lamborghini by doing various tweaks and upgrades. And to do that, I have contacted one of the UK's foremost slot car experts. He's the creator of the digital slot car Le Mans, which you would have seen if you look back at some of my previous videos. He's also appeared on Scalextric's own YouTube channel, showing people how to fix and tweak their cars. And that person is Gary Skip. Now, Gary's agreed with me to do some staged upgrades to the Lambo. We're going to do it in 3 stages, and stage 1 is going to be done today. So I'm going to take the Lambo over to Gary's workshop. We're then going to bring the car back to the track, stick it on the track, and see just what kind of difference it's made to the performance of the car. And all that is coming up right now.
Okay,
so we do have a chat. We have to admit it's not good, but don't forget though, this is spares or repair. I got this spares or repair.
Well, definitely the repairs are about to come in. So I know you've worked on the body already and got that in a better state. The first thing that jumps out to me with this car is it needs a clean. Like I can already see fluff.
Yeah.
In and around the axle, so that's not going to be helping us at all. The state of these braids are very bad. Yeah. So I think the first thing to do is just completely disassemble it.
Okay, right. Yeah. So it's all got to come to bits. It's in a bad way. Yeah.
This isn't as bad as I thought, actually. The bit of fluff I could see is literally the only bit of fluff. I thought it would be cake.
Oh, that's good.
Inside here. Let's get that. Just pick the DPR switch out. Oops.
So what's that? Oh, that's the...
It's the plug that allows you to make it into a digital car.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So yes, in theory, yeah, you could plug a digital chip into that, couldn't you, and make it into a...
But one thing we will do to make make life easier for ourselves is to trim the retaining lugs off the cable, because then you don't need so much brute force to put it in and out. Now, of course, these are in place to stop the thing falling out, but it won't fall out.
Okay. Yeah, because they're hardly likely to come out anyway.
No, they won't come out.
No.
We'll take this off. These are actually not Scalextric braids.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting.
So someone has put some different braids sometime in its past, has bought some braids and chucked them in.
Which is fine, I mean...
Yeah, there we go, all the tyres are off.
Now, I know when you bought this car, the axle was out, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Popped out. So I'm just going to check that the chassis isn't broken or split, and in fact it is.
Oh, okay.
So it's cracked there.
God, I can't even
Probably
see
can't see it now. I can see it in the just the light I've got enables me to see it.
Okay.
It's cracked just there. There's a hairline crack.
Okay.
We can glue it, and it should be okay.
Okay, right.
Let's take the guide out.
Well, it's all in bits now. Look.
Just remove
it's all in bits. Is that the motor coming out as well?
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so these are...
Look at this, so the whole car is now...
Basically.
The whole car is in bits. Tyres, motor and chassis, all in bits.
Yep.
So now the Lambo's in complete bits. And we're now going to do a test to see just how fast the motor that came with it goes.
Yep.
It's probably lost a lot of power over the years, but yeah, let's find out how fast it can go. I didn't even know you could do this.
It's got a little black disc here, and it's got a reflective tape on it.
Okay.
So you can fit this to the motor, and then when the motor's powered up, this will spin around.
And then that
and
little
then
tachometer.
This sends the beam out, and when it reflects back, it measures the RPM.
Amazing. And
then we've got to aim this at the motor with the test button. You can see the IR beam there. So we're getting 21,700.
Wow.
So that seems to be pretty good to me.
That's very good. 21,700.
Yeah, we'll just change the direction.
Isn't that higher than what was on? Because isn't it 21,400 on the sideways one?
Well, that's what it says on the wrapper.
You reckon it goes faster? It must go faster than that then.
Even if it doesn't, the defining factor, as I said, will be the torque.
The torque,
so
right.
The sideways motor is going to have probably double the torque of this one.
Right,
so it's going to make a lot more efficient use of those RPMs because it can get there.
Because it can get there quicker.
Yeah. So I just measure this in the other direction. So that's slower. I can hear that that's slower.
Right.
So I expect this to be less than 20,000 maybe. 20.4.
20.4. Why do you test it in both directions?
Just in case there's any enormous discrepancy. Okay. That would suggest that there's a problem.
There's a problem with the motor, right.
The other thing that you can do is change the direction of the motor if you want to get the most RPMs out of it.
Oh, I see. So you could change the direction of the motor in the car.
Yeah, in some cars and in some configurations.
To get the fastest. Right.
The problem when you have playing the guide is that it's going to wobble around.
Oh, I see. Okay.
In the stem. And that will cause you handling problems with the front. You can see here. But I've just put the guide back in the chassis. You can see there's a little lip above. Yeah. You see my nails pressing against that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sand that off.
Okay, right.
Because at the moment, when you put the screw in, the screw is going to rest on that lip. Yeah. And then you're going to get play because the lip isn't flush.
Okay.
And obviously, this isn't very scientific. I might not be doing it very evenly, but the result will be okay. The collar now, which is fine because the screw will provide the rest.
Okay.
So that's job done there.
Okay.
Okay, so that snaps in like that.
So the motor literally just snaps in then. So we're going to glue the motor.
The reason you want to glue the motor is because when the motor's got power to it, when you're driving the car, the motor mount isn't very strong, so it's going to vibrate and it's going to rock a little bit.
Okay.
And you don't want that to happen. So on plastic cars like this, it's always good, in my opinion, to use a hot glue gun just to glue them in place.
Okay.
Professional racing cars, the motors are often screwed in.
Right.
Which is a lot better because it makes them easier to remove. Hot glue,
because this is a Scalextric one.
Yeah. Hot glue isn't permanent. You can remove it with a blunt edge and some lighter petrol. It destroys the bond. And you don't need to worry about it overheating or anything because these motors aren't going to get hot enough to do that.
Okay.
The other advantage of hot glue is that when it's slightly rubbery, when it's set, it just does dampen those vibrations a little better.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
I would never super glue a motor, for example.
Oh, okay, because it's too hard.
It's too brittle, yeah. And if you get a lot of super glue in it, you'll never get it out. It's going to be a nightmare. So this glue's up to temperature now. We're just going to drop a nice bead down this edge of the motor. Obviously, this is a sidewinder car, so it depends. If you've got an inline car, then you go down each side of the motor. Just going to go up the mount slightly. If you can see that, sorry, it's an awkward angle. If you've ever welded,
see where you're going, are you?
Yeah, I would use the same technique as if you're doing welding. So go along a bit and then back a bit. In your previous video, when you took this to Jeff for inspection, we noticed that the rear axle had popped out of the chassis.
Yeah.
And that led me to think that there might be a crack in the chassis.
Okay.
And you probably won't see, but if you tease the axle holder apart, there is a hairline crack just there. Before we put the axle back in, I'm going to put a little bit of super glue just on that crack opening.
Okay.
And hope that it works its way in. Now, normally, you would not glue an axle in like this.
Okay.
Be very aware. You would do
Right.
it from the top so you can take it out again.
Right.
But because this is a repair of a crack,
Yes.
we're putting the glue in first.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll put our axle back in. I'm just going to put a bit of pressure on that so it's not being forced open.
So the glue isn't going to gel with the axle and stop the axle from?
No, the axle's safe because it's inside the...
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, we've got a load of play in this rear axle, which is horrible. So we're going to take that out just by putting a shim in this little gap.
Right. So we're going to fill the gap with a little shim to stop it moving
Super
around.
glue is dry, so I just
And that's the
touched
little shim there. That's what it's going to look like?
Yeah,
like
this
that?
is a bit dirty, so it's a bit grey, but normally it's white.
Yeah, and you cut that
I'm
into
gonna,
like a horseshoe
Yeah, I'm
shape,
just going to cut a bit out of it.
so it can clip over the axle and block the gap.
Yeah.
He's managed to get it in.
We've got the shim in. You probably can't see it because it's the same
So
colour
tiny.
as this bushing, but there's not as much play in there.
There you go, yeah. Yes. So what we're going to do now is true the wheels. That's not truing the tyres, it's truing the wheels, because the wheels themselves are not truly round, amazingly.
A lot of plastic wheels are not round when they come out of the mould. So you need to do this from the top because there's no tyre on it. So if you do it from the bottom, the gear will be bigger than the tyre.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So I've just got some sandpaper and a flat edge, so I'm just going to hold it. But you can see the colour of the wheel start to change.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you want is for a uniform sort of spread of colour across the wheel.
Okay.
Depending on what material the wheel's made out of or how it's been painted, then the colours, it might get darker, it might get lighter, it'll be different every time.
Okay.
But you'll notice that a change from when you start doing it, and when that change is equal across the surface,
Yeah.
that's pretty much when it's time to
You
stop.
got it right. There you go. So
Absolutely
it's still
free
moving.
moving.
There you go. Right.
Okay, so
Right.
while this is like this, I'll glue it how I would normally glue it,
Yeah.
which is again with a little bit of super glue. And you just want to put a little dab just in the corner.
I'm going to come round there so we can see what you do.
Like. So just where the bearing meets the chassis, you just want to put a little dab.
Yeah.
And you don't want to put too much in, because if you need to take the axle out, you don't want it to be absolutely solid in there. We've got the rear wheels nice and true, and what we're going to do now is true at the front tyres. So these are the tyres that came off the front of the car. We're just going to put them on the back. That's cracked as well.
So
It doesn't matter that we've got a crack in the front tyre, because once it's on the front, it's not going to do anything important. To do that, it's just a case of lowering them down onto the block.
Okay,
So
with it while the
sand
motor's
when the power's
spinning.
on. Yeah.
Okay.
What's important to remember when you're trimming tyres like this is you've got to have the power backwards. Because if you have the power so that the car drives forwards, it will try and drive away from you.
Okay.
Whereas if you have it so it's in reverse, effectively you can control it a lot better. You can see now we've got a consistent colour on the tyre.
Yeah.
On the sanding.
It's smooth now. Yeah, I can see that.
Suggests
lump
that it's
in the
been
middle
trued up.
as well. Excellent. So we're varnishing now then.
Yeah, we've treated the front tyres up and we've put them back on the front axle now. So now
Right.
I've got some clear nail varnish.
Right.
And we're just going to apply that to the front tyres.
So you're putting nail varnish
Nail varnish.
on the front tyres,
That's right.
not on the back tyres.
Definitely not on the back tyres now. The reason that we want to varnish the tyres is because when that sets, that'll be hard and shiny.
Yeah.
And that will mean that when the front tyres touch the track, they'll skip across it.
Right. Which
So
will
you're
reduce
not-
friction.
It'll reduce friction, yeah. We're just
Truing.
truing the rear tyres, so again we've got the power going backwards. The rear tyres are on the now trued wheels. It's just a case of lowering it down onto the sandpaper and looking for that even colour,
Yeah. Across the tyres.
which you can see already because we have been doing a little bit off camera.
Okay.
Just want to oil moving parts, so a little bit on the front axle where it's held.
I'll come around there so people can see what you're doing.
Again, you just want a tiny bit. Less is definitely more. Just on the contact points of the moving parts. I'm going to put some where the shim was as well, just so that's well lubricated. A tiny drop on the motor bearing. You definitely don't want to add too much there, because if you flood the motor with oil, you're going to have a bad time. Just put some in the motor.
Just where the moving parts are.
No, I've got a bit of oil on that gear, which is fine. But what we're going to do is lubricate the gears with grease instead of oil.
And what type of grease are you using?
So I've got some ancient high temperature multi-purpose grease. This is proper stuff, just because I've found that it works quite well. But for most people,
bit on it.
You just want the synthetic grease basically. Yeah, and I'll put this on a toothpick and then just run it through the gear mesh.
There we are, just smoothing it up.
Yeah, it's nice and smooth. On the inside of the body, we've got these retainers here which clamp the axle in place. And we've also got this injection moulding legacy sprue. Now we've glued our axle, so we don't need any of this. Right. So I'm just going to remove it with a pair of pliers.
And that's so easy. Look, that came out so easily. And the idea of that is it gives the body a bit more freedom to move.
Yeah, and it will save you a bit of weight as well.
And
it's going to make sure that none of this actually interferes with the chassis.
There we go. So we've got the guide going back in.
That's nice and free.
There you go.
But
there's no play because you skimmed it down, didn't you?
Yeah.
Body's going back on. All the work's been done. It's just a matter of getting this car back to the track and seeing how fast it's going to go, having had all of this stuff done. It's been a lot more extensive in terms of the work than I ever expected. So it's had a load of stuff done to it, and this is only stage one, really, isn't it? I guess.
Yes, it's only stage one.
This is only a stage one update, so we haven't really added any parts other than that shim in the
shim in the rear axle. Yeah.
In the rear axle. So yeah, that's all we've done. We put a shim in the rear axle, or Gary has, while I've watched, and that's it. That's it. So basically, we've tuned the car using the parts that it originally came with, and we're going to take it back and see if we can get it any faster round my track than it went the first time round. Okay, now having got the Lambo back on the track after the stage one tune, I thought what we'll do is, before taking it on a time run to see what the difference is, let's first of all fire up the motor and see what she sounds like now. Well, it's definitely better, I can tell you that. The response to the trigger from the motor is definitely smoother, no question of it. So before even taking the car round the track, there's a definite improvement there. Okay, so let's get everything set up and see what kind of lap time this Lambo can set after its stage one tune. Before I do the time run, of course, we have to warm up the motor and warm up the tyres. So let's just take it round and see how it feels now we've got this tune level 1 done. Let's just see what she's like. Well, I can tell you straight away, that motor is so smooth and so responsive. What a difference that has made. Actually, the challenge I've got now is actually keeping this car on the track in some respects, because it's so responsive to the trigger. It's just so responsive that it could actually fly off the track, I think, quite easily if I push it too hard. Yeah, we're definitely seeing a much smoother run on this car now. No question. It is so smooth and quiet. I think that it's going to be very surprising if this thing doesn't set a faster lap than it did before the tune-up. It is time to find out just how fast this Lamborghini Gallardo, now that it's been tuned, can go around my track. So once again, we're using the Arc 1 system as a lap timer. We're going to go in, everything's already preset. I'm just going to go in and change the car. So we're going to go for, of course, the Lamborghini. So it's me driving, it's the Lamborghini Gallardo. It's time to take this Lambo on a run and see whether or not we've managed to improve the lap times compared to the pre-stage 1. Okay, here we go, so that's 1 lap done. So far, lap time's not improved too much, but it's definitely quicker. It feels so much quicker. Not as much sliding now. Lost it a little bit on the striker corner. I'm doing my best not to slide it too much. It definitely feels quicker. Trying to get it to slow down enough to go through striker without skidding is difficult. There we go. So let's bring her in and have a look at the final result of the stage 1 tune-up. We've done the 10 laps. And let's have a look. So I'm now going to go into here. We're going to click on show statistics. And this is the big one. So we did that run in 57.031 seconds. That is phenomenally faster than it was previously. It was 82 seconds before. We did 10 laps, of course, and the fastest time, or the fastest speed, I should say, was 227 miles per hour. That is absolutely phenomenal. What an improvement. So we've gone from doing 155 to 227 miles an hour, and we've now set a lap time of 57.03 seconds. What an unbelievable improvement in speed and performance from what I call a stage 1 upgrade. In fact, the performance increase was so great that I had to recalibrate and retest the lap timer to make sure the lap timer was working properly. And indeed it was. It was absolutely bang on accurate. So this car has gone from doing a scale top speed of 155 miles per hour to over 227 miles per hour. And that stage 1 upgrade was basically removing parts, not putting any parts on. And in fact, the only part that went on this car was a shim, a very small shim on the rear axle to stop it moving around. Everything else was things being removed and things being glued down or oiled, as you saw. So that was the stage 1 upgrade complete, and phenomenal result. So the car is now going back to Gary's workshop for a stage 2 upgrade to see what more we can squeeze out of it. I really don't know how much more performance we can get, because it's now testing me as a driver in terms of my ability to react to the speeds that it's pushing out. But we are going to get it back to Gary's in due course. That will be a video we're coming up with very soon for a stage 2 upgrade, and to see just how much more we can squeeze out of this Lambo. In the meantime, stay safe, have fun, and we'll catch you in the next one.